Welcome to Pittsburgh. The Steelers have signed star UFL defensive end Kenny Willekes. And we also get an update on Gabe Davis potentially signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers very soon. But first, before I get more into it, however, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now, let's get right into it. So, just today, the Pittsburgh Steelers have made another signing to their roster in defensive end Kenny Willekes. And also, maybe potentially in the future, in the coming days, the Steelers may make another signing, and that is Gabe Davis, because the Steelers invited Gabe Davis back to Pittsburgh for a checkup to see how he's doing physically, and if he passes that physical, he may be added to this wide receiver core very shortly. But let's start off with the signing that we know of today, and that is edge defender Kenny Willekes. And looking at his introduction to you, Steeler Nation, let's start off with where he was drafted. And he was selected in the 2020 NFL Draft in the 7th round by the Minnesota Vikings. And he did not end up making their 53-man roster that year, but then landed on the practice squad and was activated for several games over the next couple seasons. He was ultimately released in May of 2023 before signing in the UFL with the Michigan Panthers. And in the NFL, he appeared in 6 games total. 18 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, 7 quarterback hits, and 1 pass defense. But in the UFL, he is coming off a stellar season. Probably the best season of his career, with 31 total tackles, 4 sacks, and 28 total pressures last season. 28 of them. That's a lot. So, even though the NFL didn't work out the first few years of his career in it, he took the UFL route, and that obviously helped him earn another chance in the NFL. Sometimes you just need to put something on tape, and that's what he did. He showed out, became a star in that league, and now he gets another opportunity this season with the Pittsburgh to try to make the roster, or maybe even end up back on a practice squad on a different team. So, looking back at his NFL career, one of those 6 career games that he played was against the Steelers in 2021. And he made a tackle in that game and played 31 defensive snaps. So looking at what he stands at and his athletic attributes, at the NFL Combine coming out of Michigan State, Willekes measured in at 6'3.5" 264 pounds, with 31 1/4 inch arms, and he ran a 4.8 second 4-yard dash time and put up 32 reps on the bench press. So, in the NFL, and according to PFF, Pro Football Focus, they have charted him 202 total snaps on defense and 27 on special teams with the Vikings. So he does have that special teams flexibility, and we all know to earn a spot as one of the last remaining roster spots, you got to earn it through special teams. So if he could get on Danny Smith's good side and earn it through special teams, maybe he has a chance to make this team, or at least the practice squad, as someone they could trust in that area. So he primarily played at defensive end though, and that's what he would probably be with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He would probably play on the edge in rotation with some guys, and then also maybe have flexibility to play on the defensive line as well. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they bring him in for the final preseason game, which is going to be this Thursday against the Carolina Panthers, and hopefully he shows out enough to where he could earn a spot on this practice squad or team, or maybe catch the eye of a different team and earn a spot there. Anyway, he's back in the NFL after being a star in the UFL for a few seasons. He's at a disadvantage right now because he didn't go through any of the camp with the Steelers. No OTAs, no mandatory minicamp, no training camp, and he already missed the first 2 preseason games, so he's at a disadvantage, but hopefully he shows out. If he gets a few sacks, gets a lot of pressures, shows out on special teams, maybe he catches an eye, and that's all you need at this level. And Kenny Willekes, that's your introduction to him as the latest Pittsburgh Steeler. He is signed today, and let's see how far he can make it. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below before I move into the next topic of Gabe Davis. Your thoughts on Kenny Willekes. Do you believe he has any chance to make this team or even the practice squad? Or do you believe that he's just a camp body that the Pittsburgh Steelers brought in for the final preseason game, and then he's going to be cut and never seen again as a Steeler. Leave me your thoughts down in the comments below about this addition to the 90-man roster. Now, let's move over to the second topic, and maybe the main reason you clicked on this video, and that's Gabe Davis. Because Gabe Davis is visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers once again, and that is today. The meeting is set for today, and this was reported by Adam Schefter yesterday. Gabe Davis, if you remember, visited the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier in the offseason just to kind of see where he's at physically, and when he visited the Steelers months ago, he wasn't really all there in terms of being 100% with his physical. So the Pittsburgh Steelers did not sign him and did not offer him a contract. But now, because it's been months later, the Steelers are still in need of another maybe depth wide receiver on the team to add to their core. And Gabe Davis is still available, and he may be healthy now. The Pittsburgh Steelers are bringing him in for a second visit on Tuesday, today. So, looking at the official report, Adam Schefter said this. Former Jaguars and Bills wide receiver Gabe Davis is flying back to Pittsburgh today and is scheduled to visit the Steelers on Tuesday for a second time this offseason, per source. Steelers continue seeking wide receiver help. End quote. So, looking at this, Gabe Davis is obviously suffering through injuries throughout his career, and looking at him, he's 26 years old, and he was released by the Jacksonville Jaguars earlier this offseason, and his release came 1 year after signing a big deal in free agency, leaving the Buffalo Bills for a 3-year, $39 million contract. So things didn't go well his first year with the Jaguars. He hauled in just 20 receptions for 239 yards, 2 touchdowns during a year in which he wasn't healthy. He kind of battled through a knee injury and wasn't a great fit in the offensive scheme. But the main thing was he was injured, a knee injury, and that carried all the way through until the offseason. And that obviously carried all the way through until his first meeting with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So obviously it was serious enough. And the Pittsburgh Steelers saw that and gave him another chance to bring him in today to see if he's fine. And to be honest with you, if he is 100%, I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers will sign him. Because when you see the Steelers keep checking in on people to see if they're healthy enough to be signed, when you see them bring them in for 2 visits after the first one didn't go well. So, Gabe Davis, there's obviously a level of uncertainty in terms of his health, but there's also a level of interest that the Pittsburgh Steelers are showing in him. And if they're showing that interest, they obviously want him on the team. So, he also has a meeting that's going to go on with the Buffalo Bills later in the week, but the Buffalo Bills literally just signed a wide receiver today for depth. So, do they really want Gabe Davis? Maybe not. But is there a level of trust that they have with him because he used to be a Bill? Yes. But the Pittsburgh Steelers obviously have that level of interest as well to keep checking in on you. So, Gabe Davis potentially can be a Pittsburgh Steeler later in the week if all things go well and they find out that he has recovered fully from that knee injury. So, would the Pittsburgh Steelers actually need him at the wide receiver position? Yes, he's a good wide receiver. When he has played healthy, he has showed that he's a playoff performer. He could be a regular season performer, and he makes big time catches down the field. And he could be that deep ball threat. Even against the Steelers many years ago, you've seen him put up over 100 yards and get touchdowns and catch the ball with ease against the Steelers defense. You've seen him do that as a Buffalo Bill, and when he is healthy, he's a good threat. And he's only 26 years old, so he's still a very young receiver in this league. So he can really help the Pittsburgh Steelers, and even if he gets a few snaps here and there, or comes in as a 3rd, 4th wide receiver on this team, that could be a boost to the Steelers' offense, and another threat for the Steelers' offense down the field to open things up for some other guys. When you have that deep ball threat, in which he is with his speed, athleticism, and going up and catching it, then that opens things up for other wide receivers to be open, other tight ends, and other things like the run game. So that deep ball threat opens a lot up, and Gabe Davis could change an offense because of it. So this would be a really good addition to the team. He would be in rotation with other players, but Gabe Davis, I would want him on this team because it can be a boost, and he can replace a guy like maybe Robert Woods or maybe one of the edge players at the wide receiver position. And he could be a number 2 receiver on this team eventually. So that does it for this video. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this Gabe Davis topic. What do you want the Pittsburgh Steelers to sign him? And do you believe he could be help to this wide receiver core? What are your thoughts on him visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers for the second time this offseason? So make sure you also subscribe to this channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis reports, everything surrounding this team I've covered this offseason. Every new player, their introduction is on the channel, just like this one with Willekes. And also, if Gabe Davis gets signed, an introduction to him will be on the channel as well. So stay tuned for everything Pittsburgh Steelers football. This is the best spot for it. The season is starting up shortly, and I have you covered throughout it all. So stay tuned, and until the next video tomorrow, I'll see you guys all later. That's it for me. I'm out. Peace.